So we're gonna run an outlet. We're gonna knock that hole out of that box, and we're gonna run a wire, and we're gonna put an outlet. We're gonna put the outlet right where that tape is there. So we've taken the cover off that box with those two screws. We have our cable, we got our clamp connectors, we got a box for the outlet, we got a cover plate, we got staples to hold it on the wall, and we got electric tape, we got a circuit tester, and we got a second one because we're doing another one. But first we want to check this circuit, make sure it's live. So we're going to take this wire nut off, take our circuit tester, and one probe we're going to ground on the box, and the other probe we're going to touch. Now you see we got all the lights and the meters moving. That means it's live. This is older, so the ground is the metal conduit on the outside of the wires, and the whole box, everything is ground, because they got these little straps inside the conduit. The newer ones will have a separate bare copper wire, which if it had it, I would touch one to the bare copper wire and the other to this to check for power. Or we could also touch these two and get the power. But the white one, it wouldn't have power. It would just have continuity, which means it's the ground, because basically it takes a positive and a negative. The negative is ground, which is the white. The positive is the black. That's the live one, because black means death. Okay, so there we got power, here we got ground. That's continuity, and that is 120 volt. Cover this up while we're working on it. We don't really have to cover the white because that's just brown. We gotta pop that. We gotta pop that out of there. Which basically you could just knock it and then grab it with a pair of pliers and just take it off. Now that's the hole, the cutout hole, and we're gonna put this clamp in there with this nut. But first we're gonna put our wire through it. Got a razor knife or utility knife. And we're gonna score this. It's a new knife. I'm not exactly sure how it works sometimes. I've just had it like a week. So we're gonna score that. Gonna open that up. Now we got in here, we've got a white. It's gonna go to white. The black's gonna go to black up there. And we have a red, which we're not going to use in this particular situation. And then we have the bare ground, which we're going to wrap around the other grounds up there to give us a ground down to the outlet. Going to take this nut off because that's going to go inside the box. So we're just kind of roughing it out right now. So we're not actually going to cut the wire until we know exactly how much we need. So here we're going to stick that through there. And then we take this nut, we'll put it over the wires and right up inside there. If you have to make room in here, don't be scared to move these wires around. Now we're going to do this connection up here last, because of course we don't want the new line. I just got a little jolt. We don't want the new line energized until we're ready. And I got a jolt because I touched behind there. The wire is probably exposed a little bit. This up just with a screwdriver on one of those lugs there. Okay, good. So we got that done. Okay. Now, if this was like sheetrock or something else, we might use like mollies and clips or whatever, but this happens to be a wooden wall, so we get to use these staples. And it's good to have this wire secured so in the future, like if someone's sweeping and they knock it with a broom or something, it's not going to cause any trouble. So it's good to have this out of the way, like we got it in a corner like this, and secured like every couple of feet with a staple. That's done. Now we're gonna screw this box to the wall there. But it might be easier if we wire it up first to our box, and then we need a little extra. Okay, so we're coming here to the box, and then we need a little extra wire. Gonna go through one of these holes. So you stick your screwdriver in here. You take the tab out like that. And this is a clamp here. You put it through the clamp, and we need like 6 inches to work with would be great. It's gonna go like right here. So now we're gonna tighten up this clamp, but let's see if we can make it look a little neater. Maybe we'll come in the bottom. That would be nice look, right? Okay, so we're gonna tighten up this clamp. All right, good. So we cut it and we broke it off. Now that's going to be a nice flush mount. Take your razor knife and just score through the outer insulation. And cut it off. That'll be nice in there. And we're not going to be using the red, but you never know, in the future someone might. So we're just going to take the red and coil it up and stick it in there. Okay, there's our ground. We're gonna get a screw. That's why it was metal, they used it as the ground, but this one actually has its own ground wire, separate wire. So, we're going to strip about 3/4 off the end of these, the white and the black, and then this hole, you use it to bend that loop. See? And there's a neat little trick for you. Got it? Got it. Okay. Now the receptacle is the dark color screws and the white color screws. So of course the white goes to the lighter color screw, and the black goes to the dark color screw. And you also want to keep the direction of the loop going in the way the screw tightens up. So the screw tightens clockwise, so we want the loop facing clockwise, not the other way around, because if it was this way, when you tighten it, you actually spread the loop. But when it's this way, when you tighten it, it actually crunches the loop a little bit, and that helps. And then we're going to take this nipper again, and we're just going to kind of snug in that loop. You could use a needle nose, and then make this nice and tight. And the other one too, because when it's sticking out like this, it could hit the edge of the box and make a spark. So we want all the screws in. And we're going to loop our ground. And all the ground, so the white's the ground and the bare's the ground, and it's all on the one side. So again, keeping the loop in the direction. If you take these guys and just kind of kink them, and then stick the whole receptacle kind of in there, that's how you get the wires in. you want to take a little piece of tape and we're going to wrap it around to cover, okay? Just one more layer of protection, but get it under the screw. And again, on the bottom, it's got to go under the screw. See that? That was very easy. And at this point, we just want to make sure it's straight. Put your cover plate on. Now we're going to go up top and complete our connections up there. Now again, the red we're not going to use, but in the future someone may. So we're just going to take it and neatly stick it up in there, out of the way. Okay, and the paper for the bare copper we can take off. We're going to strip about 3/4 of an inch again.
You know, now that I can get at that window, it wouldn't be that much of a job, I don't think, just to open the window and put a bag below it here.
Always scoop it out. You talking
Do you
about?
think,
Yeah, but it's got an alarm. Okay, so now the ground, we're just going to take, look, we're going to loop it around that screw there. And then when we put that plate back on and tighten it up, it'll be just fine. But first, as our wiring is done, we're just going to check. Just take these 2 probes and just stick them on in there. It doesn't matter which side is which. Okay, so we got it. So we take our cover plate and it's keyholed. Okay. It's keyholed. So now when we tighten this up, that's going to ground it. And then